On yesterday's episode, I drew three cards 11, 28, and 32. And that didn't really correspond to what we were trying to accomplish yesterday. So I figured maybe I would add them together on yesterday's episode, and I did. And I came up with the number 71, which, just checking my math again, that was right, 71. So after yesterday's episode, I thought, okay, well, what does 71 have to do with? What is the idea that the cards are trying to get across to me? And so I did some investigating and I found something interesting, and I want to share it with you today. So stick around for today's episode of Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulus. Thanks for joining me. So, 71, the first thing I did was, remember, I was talking about the video Masha and the Bear, which had closest to the number of views as the years of the age of our solar system. So that would have been 4.568 billion views, but it had something like 4.57 billion views. So that was good enough for me. And I had actually spoken about that video the day before, which was uncanny, but that's a whole different story. So I checked to see what episode 71 of Masha and the Bear was or is. And that is an episode about hockey. So if it was about curling, because remember I talked about curling a few days ago and the Nigerian Curling Federation and their great successes recently. If it were about curling, I would know that that's the message the cards are trying to send to me, but it was not about curling. So I looked into other things related to the number 71. I looked at what happened in 1971 on January 26th, and I thought, well, what, you know, it was nothing really stuck out. I went to 1871, 1771. At some point, I think I looked into 71 BC, and you know, it's hard to pinpoint an exact date, because the change in the calendar, and so there was, and was no anyway. So it was very unlikely that there would be something pinned down to January 26th, 71 BC. But if if there's any historians out there that want to say anything about that date, please let me know. Maybe it's in the cards. So, all right. I also thought about, what about November 28th, 1932? Looked that up, saw what happened on November 28th, 1932. Nothing, again, really pertinent to my thinking. So I was like, okay, I just need to, you know what, I'm going to go to Wikipedia and I will look up 71 in Wikipedia. And so I did. And it was something, one thing popped out immediately on Wikipedia. And that was that it said in the disambiguation, the last item was 71 is a nickname for Wrocław. Wrocław is a city in Poland. And I thought, what is this about? 71 is a nickname. So I looked it up, and the only thing that I found was that the area code of Wrocław is a 7-1. So maybe it's kind of like, how people are, they say, I'm from the 213 or the 312 or the 212. I'm going to get all of those places. I think I got 213. I guess what's that? It's Los Angeles. And then 312 Chicago, 212 New York City. So, okay. So, that, how that happens. That's not uncommon. So maybe people say I'm from the 7-1 when they're from Wrocław. Now, you don't, it's hard to pronounce Wrocław, I mean, for me, because let me spell it for you. It's, oh boy, it's WROC, L with a slash through it, which I'll talk about in a second, AW. And it's pronounced from listening to Polish speakers say it, Wrocław. Now, the L with the slash through it, or stroke through it, however you want to call that, that's one of the letters in the Polish alphabet that is comes after L. There's L and then there's O, and that's O. It sounds like a W in English. I also learned that letter used to sound in the olden days, that there was like a class difference between like kind of people trying to sound upper crusty would pronounce that L with a slash through it as like a kind of heavy L, what is called a dark L, instead of something like law, something like that. That wasn't great. You could go to Wikipedia, check it out. L with a stroke. Oh well, it's L with a kind of tilde through the middle. The tilde like over the enya, or the N with the thing over it in say Spanish, for example. The tilde. It's in the middle of the L. That's what it sometimes was pronounced as in the olden days. Apparently, it's a class distinction thing, but also in the current day, there are some dialects where it's still pronounced as a heavy, or no, dark L is what it's called. So that is that. If you are from Wrocław, I'll try again, and you're listening to this, please mention that in the comments. And if you haven't visited Wrocław, please visit. Why not Wrocław is my new motto for January 26, 2024. If you are with the Wrocław Tourism Board, why not Wrocław might be a good English language tagline for your next campaign. And if you want to talk about a campaign, I'd be happy to help out. So just give me a call. I'll be on the lookout for numbers that are coming from area code 71 in Poland. I think Poland is what, +48. If you, all right, I hope I remember correctly, but yeah, I'll look for +4871, and I'll know that it's the Wrocław Tourism Board calling. So Wrocław is a great town. It looks like. I've never been to Wrocław. If you have been, mention that in the comments as well. But it looks really cool, and they have a lot of gnomes there, like all over the place, hundreds of them, and that's pretty interesting. They're kind of like all over the streets, and yeah, it looks like a cool scene. Oh yeah, I noticed that they have someone was doing a video on their Christmas market, and they have lamp lighters. Like people who light gas lamps. That is a job that is now become extremely rare. Although with a resurgence in kind of ye olde nostalgic kind of gas lamp lighting in certain places, it may be coming back. But anyway, the gas lamp lighters still exist in Wrocław. So that's cool. So visit Wrocław. This is not a paid advertisement. This is me. This is from the heart. It became clear to me that the cards want us to think about Wrocław. So that is that. Let's have this one. This one's for Wrocław. We're going to draw a card, and we'll see what it is. And this is for everyone in Wrocław right now. Hello. And this is the card. This is today's card for you. And also everybody else who's not in Wrocław. Okay. It sounded like a Shakira song. This one's for Wrocław is like, like one of those World Cup musical numbers that Shakira has done. I think that like this one's for Wrocław. Wrocław would be a really good one. So if Shakira's listening, that would be good. All right. Now we'll do 3 casual shuffles. And all right. And let's see where Oh, this one is standing tall. So here's the card for Wrocław. Everyone, you already have the big answers. It's card 21. Even though it may seem like you don't know what to do about the next steps in your life, you already have the answers. To find an advisor you can trust, look for someone who will listen with you to hear what you need rather than make suggestions about what you should do. For help with specific answers, seek the advice of an expert in a specific field of work. Now, everyone in Wrocław and everywhere else, consider what you're trying to say to yourself about your work that you have not been hearing. All right, I'm going to give that a shot. You give it a shot, and I'll see you tomorrow on Life's Potluck Buffet.